All right, Milford Eagles, we're back again. We have another great interview, another Spotlight Athlete of the Week. Today, we are so enlightened and just joyous to have Hillary Huffer. She's a senior on our softball program. So, Hillary, welcome. Thanks for spending time with us today. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Now, we're glad to have you here. Obviously, I see you're at home. Probably been spending a lot of time at home the last couple of weeks. Talk about what that motion, that process has been like from, obviously when we started spring with tryouts, we got the news that, school shut down and got pushed back. And then obviously the unfortunate news the other day that, school's closed for the year and spring sports are canceled. Can you take me through that roller coaster the last couple of weeks and kind of what your emotions have been like?
Yeah, so when we first found out, we were all in the gym together, and we first found out we were only going to be pushed back 3 weeks, and we were like, okay, we can still have a good season out of this. We can, we'll still have a great ride. So we left school March, and not even knowing that we weren't going to come back. So we haven't had the closure yet. So we just kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And then we would all, watch the governor and listen to the OHSAA to see what they would have to say. Um, but I held hope for a good season. Even no matter what was going on the news or anything, I still held on to the thought of having a great season with this team. Um, but when we found out, this week that we weren't going to be able to have a season, I think it really was a big punch to the gut, especially with what we had for this year. So, yeah.
So talk a little bit about, obviously you've been home the last couple of weeks, and not a lot we can do right now. Everything's closed. So how have you stayed focused? Obviously, you have the opportunity to play at the next level at Wilmington College. So it's nice that you have at least a couple more years ahead of you to play. So how have you been staying active, focused on softball, and what's next in your career?
So I actually put this little
Ooh,
timeline
look at
together
that!
that I have.
Wow.
So it's kind of just like everything, making sure I'm running, shoulder exercises because that's very important, hitting and pitching. Kind of just trying to stay motivated. Even though this is the time to get better, like the season might be canceled, but softball is not. You know what I mean? It's not. We can still go outside and hit, and even if you're a senior and even if you're in a different sport, you'll always hold that capability to be able to teach people, that sport. And the season may be canceled, but it's not your ability to be able to show people how to play the sport isn't, and it never will be. So that's kind of one thing that I've been focusing on too is, even especially for me, I get to go play on to the next level, but for my fellow seniors that don't, just know that you have the capability to teach the younger Eagles and people that strive to be who you are. So that's something I've been looking forward to as well.
That's a great answer. So obviously, there's high expectations this year for the program. I think we're loaded with talent. Obviously, you were all city, all league as a sophomore. You had some injuries or your junior year. You were ready to go, leading our pitching staff, and then we had a lot of other young talent around you. So talk about what would a dream. Let's plan like we're in, or play like we're in Hollywood right now, right? We're gonna write a script. If there was a movie, the Milford Eagles softball 2020. What would that movie look like? What would the ending be like if you could just picture that in your mind of what would have been?
Oh, well, this year was our year for sure. I've seen a lot of my sister played, so I've seen a lot of talent go through Milford softball and even with being in the program for 4 years, I've seen a lot of talent, but this year was a year that was definitely a state final four or even state finalist. Um I the chemistry that we've had, we bond so well together. This would have been our year. So
Yeah,
we definitely, I mean, if I had to say, my the best thing out of this is that we definitely would have gotten to state or, winning ECC. So I think that would have been a big thing for us.
that's awesome. And I'm assuming we would have beat West Claremont this year, right? Too, right? We can say that.
Oh, absolutely. We would have beat them twice.
Run, roll them twice, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And
I
shut them
wanna
out
do
and you
that so bad.
pitch a couple gems there. I love the optimism there, but that's great. Like I said, it's a tough situation, but we can hope and dream and still pretend to feel that joy and goodness that comes out of it. And at least you had a couple years and you got a couple more in front of you. So one of my favorite questions here, obviously, a lot of us are stuck in shelter in place and kind of quarantined. If you were stuck with one celebrity who kind of be at home with and quarantined, who would that be and why?
Luke Bryan.
Okay, going a little country there. Why would that be?
I love his music and, he's very cute, if I have to say the least.
Hey, I'm not judging. That's it's a good choice. I actually
No,
have tickets
he
to Sam Hunt in August, so I'm hoping I'll be able to go to that concert. So,
yeah, I got, the mega ticket last year for Riverbend, and we saw Luke Bryan, and it was, like, the best concert I've ever been to,
mhm,
and his music is just really good, so
yeah. Hopefully, is he coming to Cincinnati this year?
yeah, he is. I'm not, I know
Okay.
I don't have tickets to his concert. I had tickets to Thomas Rhett, but it got
Oh.
pushed back to September, so
All right. Well, tell your parents that's your quarantine gift this year that they're going to get you. Call it even, right? For not having being stuck with them so long. So let's talk a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot of seniors right now that are struggling. They're in a tough place. Obviously, you being in that place, what conversations have you had with your teammates and fellow classmates, and what kind of encouragement, positivity could you offer to them right now in this tough time?
I'm a pretty positive person and like, for everyone this was a huge punch in the gut. But I want everyone to know like there will be a good thing that comes out of this for everybody. Um, I think that this will push people to work harder and to find the good and never take anything for granted. I think that's one thing that I learned the most out of this whole process is you know never the littlest things like you never take for granted. And the biggest thing is always play like it's your last game. I think that's been my biggest thing that I have told everyone on my team. Or even your last practice. I mean, you never know what the next day is going to bring you, so just play your heart out and take it all seriously and take it in and go out with a bang. So,
Yeah, well, that's some great advice. So I appreciate you sharing that and spending time with us for this interview. You've been awesome. Obviously, we would love to see you out in the field there. Selfishly, me too. My first year, I was really looking forward to seeing this team in action. But let's hold on to hope and look forward to seeing you play at the next level at Wilmington College there. Okay, and
all
hopefully
right,
see you sooner and later too before this is all said and done. So.
absolutely.
Well, thanks again, Hillary, for joining us. We'll be in touch and hopefully we'll see you around and get to see you in person sooner and later. Okay.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And my pleasure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up. Miss Hillary Huffer.